What did you study in the university?
Oh, business.
Your
Bachelor of Science in Administration. I majored
Oh,
in accounting.
I see.
Yeah, I majored in accounting.
You're an accountant.
Wasi time. Uh, I'm sorry to all those who think I'm a good boy, but I skipped I ran away from the school to watch. I remember I was two Champions League semi-finals. That was in 2014. Yeah, Let's Go versus Chelsea game. I watched that, and then the Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. All second legs. My dad used to take me to the Langley Sports Stadium to watch Ashanti Group play. So that's where the love started. One particular Champions League night, Chelsea was playing. I think Drogba wasn't playing well. I think I was around 10 to 12 years of age. Drogba wasn't playing well in that game, and my dad was just calling for a substitution. He has to be changed, but who? And I was like, Dad, I think the way the thing looks like, Anelka will be the one to come in, and they will change the way they play to try and suit Anelka, because even though Anelka scores, he likes to drop deeper than Drogba. So he saw it happening a few minutes later. I was like, wow, this young kid, how did you know? How did you get that, foresight to be able to predict that? I did my service in the business.
Best of them.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
shocked.
I was what they call a T. When we did the analysis on the FPO, was like, when I did school away, I was there. I was like, yo, this guy be solid. This guy be solid. Wow.
So, Bill, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you around. I know you personally, but for anybody who does not know Bill, who is Bill?
Bill Eshun is a young journalist who's trying to make his name, works at Wii Sports. I've been working at Wii Sports for almost a year now. And of course, I produce, sometimes present, I do social media stuff as well. So if you see me like joking around and things, yeah, that's the guy. So basically, that's Bill for you. I mean, I'm that kind of person who likes to make jokes, have fun, do social media, enjoys the production, enjoys presenting, enjoys reporting as well. I go out and all. So yeah, that's basically me.
Did your career start at Terry Sports? Obviously, maybe not. How did it start?
If I'm going to talk about how my career started, I have to go very, 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 very deep into like the passion, how I developed the passion for sports journalism in the first place. I mean, as a young kid, I used to watch football a lot with my parents. My dad used to take me to the Langley Sports Stadium to watch Ashanti Gold play. So that's where the love started. And also, I mean, we used to watch a lot of Champions League matches at home. Uh, my dad used to like Chelsea a lot, so we were watching a lot of Chelsea matches. And of course, Michael Essien was a part of the team, so drew drew my attention to that. And one particular Champions League night, Chelsea was playing. I think Drogba wasn't playing well. I think I was around 10 to 12 years of age. Drogba wasn't playing well in that game. And my dad was just calling for a substitution. He has to be changed. But who? And I was like, Dad, I think the way the thing looks like, Anelka will be the one to come in. And they will change the way they play to try and suit Anelka, because even though Anelka scores, he likes to drop deeper than Drogba. So he saw it happening a few minutes later. I was like, wow, this young kid, how did you know? How did you get that, foresight to be able to predict that? So then my parents, my family saw that, I mean, there's interest in football, but of course, academics always had to come first, and I had to study. And I mean, even though I focused on academics a lot in JHS, there was still that passion, because every single day I used to gather with a few boys. We used to do like proper football debates. What do you know? Like, if I mean, you have to be motivated to watch documentaries, whether I like it or not. Watch documentaries, because someone will ask you a question out of somewhere. If you don't know, they'll laugh at you, and so it became a thing. And we even at some point did a quiz that the whole of GHS actually partook in, and it was a sports related quiz. We grouped ourselves into three groups, competed. Fortunately, my group won, but I mean, it was a fun experience at the beginning. In SHS, it dropped quite a bit, because I was focusing on business and all. But I used to pick up the 90 minutes graphic at some point to just follow the transfers and what was happening in teams and all that. I mean, one time at Wasi time, uh, I'm sorry to all those who think I'm a good boy, but I skipped the. I ran away from the school to watch. I remember it was two Champions League semi-finals. That was in 2014. Yeah, Let's Go versus Chelsea game. I watched that, and then the Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. All second legs. I watched them back to back by crossing the wall to go and watch it. I mean, that was the kind of passion I had, and in university, I started translating that passion into writing because before it was just watching and then speaking about it.
Yeah.
But then I decided to, well, I can at least write something. I mean, I understand English small, so why not? Why not give it a crack? I remember my first article. The boys came at me like, "Yo, like, what are you doing?" But they did encourage me. They were like giving me tips
Do
on
you
how to
remember
improve.
what article it was like? Who you were writing about? Who you
Yeah, it was about Arsene Wenger at Arsenal and the kind of struggles that he had at that time as a coach of the team. And the way I wrote it, it was like blunt. It felt blunt, really. It was really blunt. Looking back, it was blunt.
in
Like,
terms of I want to understand like was it bad with the storyline like or it was just not true like what we were writing was not true like
yeah, so it was opinion, but I mean, my friends were the kind of people who would, even though they would like to read opinion pieces, they would also like to see something back in it, like a bit of extra research, bring something more data related into it, so that the understanding becomes even greater. And that was missing. And so, I mean, I got a few tips on how
so your
I'm
friends not to cut you I want to understand
yeah.
were your friends journalists themselves or they're just football lovers who happens to be more critical on articles.
Oh yeah, they weren't journalists, they were football lovers.
Oh, okay.
They were football lovers who followed the sport really passionately. I'm still in a particular group with them, and then we still talk about football most of the time, trolling and all that. But yeah, that aside, I mean, so after writing the first article, after getting the feedback, started working even more, writing even more, and then I got noticed by a website. They call it Ghana Fans. It's now defunct, but that was the name of the website, Ghana Fans, and it was actually a real cool who he used to write for them, and then he spotted me. He was like, nah, yeah, Ore Kwampofo, yeah,
Okay.
Ore Kwampofo. I've known him since 2015. So
Oh,
that's when it all started. I mean, 2015. So he brought me on to Ghana Fans. I still had to improve a bit. I mean, I was still writing. He was looking through, like, giving his thoughts, like what to add. And then it got to a point. He just stopped because, and I asked him why. Why did you stop? It was like, now you look good. You look set. So I don't have to correct anything again. So it just kept going. I just kept going, and then eventually I got noticed by the people in the university. Ended up getting two awards, shockingly. That was Writer of the Year, Jim Nelson Hall. That was the hall I was in.
genius. That means University of Ghana, isn't
Ghana, yeah,
it? Okay.
that's where I went to University of Ghana, Jim Nelson Hall. So I got an award there, Writer of the Year. I also got an award, Writer of the Year, BHGCR, that's the Business House Junior Football Room. That was in my final year, and I mean that really encouraged me to keep pushing. And eventually, during national service, I got the chance to write for Joy Multimedia during the AFCON. That was AFCON 2019 at the time. So I was helping them with previews, reviews, and all that. And from there, it just kick started. After that, worked for Joy a bit, went off to a bit of corporate stuff, and then came to Three Sports, and that's where I am right now.
Okay, so you've summed everything up, but we'll go into details of it. Let's
Yeah.
start from at the university. So from a young boy who used to watch football games with your father and now developing interest in rights. I want to what was that point that made you realize that perhaps I should take this writing more serious. Because you talked about the key moment of watching a football game with your father, and at that point, everybody in the family realized that no, maybe they should pay attention to that. What other thing happened to you that made you realize that? Perhaps because we all have one key moment in our life that channel our mind towards something.
So, so what really gave me the confidence was the kind of support system I had, especially at Ghana fans. I mean, those editors there, they were superb. I mean, they were giving constant feedback on how to improve, like what to work on. And I mean, if you are constantly getting feedback and then they constantly telling you, oh, you're improving here, you're doing good here, you're doing good here, then I mean, you get more and more encouraged to continue pursuing that aspect. And to be honest, I'm not the kind of guy who writes big words for you to get confused. That's not me. I keep it simple, but I try to make it more understandable. And of course, at the beginning, I used to just write normal stories, more like breaking stories, previews, some features, opinion pieces. And I mean, I decided to add a bit of finances to it because, of course, I did the business in SHS, also the business in the university. I mean, I'm more well versed in financial aspects, so I decided to add that to it. I mean, I got encouragement from one of my colleagues to do it because I mean, he was like, you've done business, like stuff about accounting and finance, went to the university. Why don't you like apply it there? And so when he gave me that confidence, I decided to write one particular article which really blew. It was the it was a comparison in financials between the Ghana Premier League and the South African League. Yes, and I believe it's still on my joeonline.com at the moment. It was one piece that really blew and it got a lot of people talking. It really got a lot of feedback. I mean, I was getting messages here and there that wow, this is really great. I mean, we everybody had that perception that yes, there's a huge gap between Ghana and South Africa when it comes to the kind of financial backing you got, but they didn't really know how huge.
How
So when I brought that to them, they were like, wow, we're really behind. Okay, so that pushed me to keep going, and of course, I was also getting encouragement to do analysis on TV as well. Um, Oracle was one of them. Georgia Junior was another. And I used to be on what do they call it? Touchline. It was a show of his that he used to
weekend.
do
Yeah.
during the weekend. Yeah. So I used to be on Touchline to give analysis. And then I mean it's all part of the reasons why I moved into Joy, decided to add the writing, do analysis and see how well I can improve as a journalist and then make my name there.
Okay, so let me get it. So, whilst in the university, by the way, what did you study in the university?
Oh, business.
Pure
Bachelor of
business.
Science in Administration. I majored
Oh,
in accounting.
I see.
Yeah, I majored in
So you're
accounting.
an accountant.
Working to be. I mean, accounting. You'd have to get the. You have to get. You have to be a CA, a chartered accountant. So
Yeah.
you have to go through that process to be. I'm still going through that process. I'm not there yet, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
We'll talk about that maybe
yeah,
as
yeah.
we move on. But I want to get to this. So, whilst in the university, you were coming to touchline.
So so with Touchline, it was right after I completed and I started national service. That's when I
You
got
did your
involved.
service at Joy,
No, I did my service in the business. Actually,
University of Ghana.
yes,
Oh, okay.
I
You're
was
a shark.
I was what they call a T.
Wow. Okay, so you're a TA at you did your service as a TA at the business school,
Yeah.
teaching what? It's lecturing, yeah, lecturing what?
Oh, but it's not crazy like that. A service personnel doing that kind of job, you wouldn't be involved much, but of course the respect is there. People come and see you to help them solve questions and all that. So it used to happen, but I was combining that with still writing previews during AFCON and all that for multimedia for Joy Sports. So it's a nice
Oh,
experience.
so right after uni, whilst you are doing your service on campus,
Yeah.
I went to the university myself, University of Ghana myself.
Yeah.
So students that stay on campus,
Yeah.
BTS, means that they were good students. You,
The,
you can't run away from that. So you were shark.
you are saying it. I'm not saying anything.
It shows.
You are saying your own thing.
Okay. So why did you decide to come back and do and write and work with a media house instead of following the academia?
Yeah, because it was passion. It was the passion was really great when it came to sports as compared to academics. Of course, academics is great, certificates are great, but to me, if you're not involved in something you're passionate about, you won't feel as happy, right, as compared to if you are really involved in something you're passionate about, and you're earning from it, and you're okay. I mean, yes, I mean there was a good path that I could have had if if I stuck to the whole process of academia. But I personally felt that, I mean, sports is my thing.
So now, after school, you are you are writing for multimedia, but you started writing with like a small website somewhere.
Yeah.
I want to know the transition and talk me through that transition, like writing for a small website, a small in coach website, and now get spotted by multimedia. How did that happen?
Okay, so writing for a small website, I was doing that with Oreku. And Oreku was an intern at multimedia at that time. He was doing internship and all that. And when we were both done with school, he started the service there at multimedia. And when it got to the time that AFCON was coming, remember that, oh, I team up with this guy at Ghana fans. So let me just pitch him. So he brought me to one of it was his side show. He used to call it FPL. It was Joy FPL show. He used to do a Joy FPL show that he used to upload on YouTube, and it was also on the Joy platforms as well. He brought me on, and I remember the first day I went there. Benedict was Charlie. It was crazy. Benedict was in the room. George was in the room. Gary came to pass by. Like, "Eesh, I've seen these big people. Like, am I going to survive in this place?" But in the end, it was fine. I mean, when we did the analysis on the FPO, it was fine. And then Benedict told the report. I was there. It was like, yo, this guy be solid. This guy be solid. Wow. Like how he go feel like contributes to me. So I think that conversation continued from there. And then I was virtually recommended to write features, to write the previews, to write the reviews on the AFCON. And that's where I got to meet Fifi Forsen, who used to be like their writer, their number one writer. And I mean, we used to directly communicate. He used to also give me like a few tips. And now, I mean, we are colleagues. Now we are colleagues at Career Sports, and we bounce off each other. I mean, when he writes, sometimes he pushes it to me to read through and then give him my thoughts, and I push to him to also give me his thoughts as well. So I mean, it's like a bit of a connection here. Yeah, that's it.